Hello, my village. Say hi, share the video. Let me know you're here. Tag some friends, invite some people. Share the video out. I'm live on both Instagram and I'm live on Facebook. And I'm also on my MacBook as well. Hey, Mike. Hey. Hello, you guys. Give me a second while I share the video really quick. And then we're going to get into this tea. Hey, bro. Hey, Natrell. Thank you guys for joining. For those of you who are new, hey, Dorothy. I am Monique. I go by Coach Mo. I am your family and parenting life coach. I help parents co-parent with success to be able to coexist in their child's life. If you see me looking at different screens, it's because I'm live on Instagram and I'm live on Facebook right now. Today's topic is going to be my expert review of this R.Kelly stuff. I know y'all are probably tired of seeing different topics and discussions about the whole R.Kelly video, but it's something that needs to be talked about. It triple opened. But it's something that really needs to be talked about because a lot of times people just sweep these type of things under the rug, and now it's becoming a topic of discussion. Was hearing you like 5 times? Really? Not done with sharing. So to start off, I just wanted to give a brief overview of what the videos we're talking about. There's still 2 more that air tonight at 9 o'clock on Lifetime that I have to look at, but I couldn't wait. I was gonna wait to do my review, but I was like, no, I can't wait. This needs to be heard. I've been having discussions with a lot of different people, and it needs to be heard. So the first thing was, like, he grew up in the projects, which is no excuse. A lot of us grew up in the hood. I grew up in Compton. I never lived in the projects, but close enough. He didn't go outside. He was isolated pretty much as a kid. He got bullied, which is no excuse. He was illiterate, which is the whole definition. He couldn't read or write. That's the definition of being illiterate. He was bullied. He was molested by close family members. And it's rumors that one of the females that molested him was his actual sister. And he was molested by a guy as well. So both male and female, which is also no excuse, but I'm getting to a point when I'm discussing about the molestation. It happened between the age of 7 and 14. And another thing I noticed about R. Kelly is he have what you call a God complex, where he basically want the women to worship him. He only want them to look at him. He only want them to talk to him, look down when other people talk to him. He had a narcissistic behavior. I know y'all know my video on narcissistic behavior when I was telling you guys the signs that you're dealing with a narcissistic person. He resembled all those features and characteristics. For a man to be 27 and marry Aaliyah and she was only 15, that is sick. And I'm gonna make it clear, I do not agree with the behavior he's had, because I'm a mom. I'm a parent coach. I deal with kids all the time and parents. It's not okay for a grown man to be sleeping with a teenager between 12. He targeted 12 to 17. But they're not grown women. They're little girls. He called himself the Pied Piper, which means a person who entices others and children to follow him. That alone should have been a clue for people. I was young, so early 90s stuff, I'm in elementary, middle school. I didn't understand it then, but now as an adult, when I look back, I get it. A lot of his songs, I see basically like when he wrote the song for Aaliyah, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, he was telling us clearly different things. Hey, Amber. Hey you guys, don't forget to share this video because I'm going to be giving a little more juicy stuff. But the reason why I mentioned about him being molested at a young age, most of you know I'm a psych major and I went to grad school for research psychology. Hey girl, there's a reason why he is a pedophile, and it's all because he was molested. That's where it started. When people are going through molestation at a young age, that's the key developmental age for young kids. When that developmental age is interrupted, it will lead to things in their adulthood. So that's why they let you know, like, kids got to go through different stages in life in order to become good adults. But if adults mess up those stages and they're affected in those different developmental stages and it's not fixed, then it become a problem. So because he was molested between the age of 7 and 14, that's like the third stage of developmental before he gets to adolescence, he will become a pedophile. Most molesters are, most kids that were molested between that age group do become, either have a sex addiction or become a pedophile. He's, in his mind, he is still 14. That's why he target that age group. So it's not an excuse for him doing it, but me as a psych major, I understand why he is the way he is, why he target that age group. It's because he's still there mentally as a person. That's why he don't see anything wrong with it. Because inside, even though he look and appear like a grown adult, mentally he's still 14. He's still trying to relive, and he's stuck in that stage of development. He never learned to read and write. First off, I don't understand what parent would let their child go along in life not ever learning how to read and write. When you have multiple kids, he wasn't the only kid. It's like, what's wrong with the parent? Like, I always blame the parent. And come to find out, while looking at the documentary a little longer, he's not the only child that was molested. His brothers experienced the same thing. So right then and there, hey, it's a generational curse. And that's why I always stress, I have a video about generational curse. It's like an hour long. I always stress and let people know, when things like that happen, you have to do something about it. Don't just sit back and watch and tell your kid, like, leave it a secret. Don't tell nobody what happened in this house stays in this house, because then you'll be raising a pedophile. They're holding it in. They never get help. Now he's pretty much too far alone. There's no psychiatrist or psychologist that would be able to really help him. There's too many layers to unfold to help him at this point, because he's stuck at 14, but he's almost 50. So it's too many layers to go back. He's done so much damage to himself and his mental, and he's created this shield. He have that God complex and the narcissistic behavior to protect himself. That's why he control these women the way he do. Make them call him daddy. He got daddy issues. I have a video about that too. How do you know if you have daddy issues? Some don't believe it. Yes. But he have daddy issues. So he wants them to call him daddy, and it's not just during sex. And also he controls them by dealing with girls that are mentally undeveloped. They're not developed mentally to know, they know what's right and wrong, but they don't know, like, that they're in an unsafe environment and that they're being used. He's selling them a dream. He wants them to feel like, oh, you stick with me, I'm going to make you rich, or I'm going to make you famous. A lot of these girls were sold a dream. Let me see. He had a messed up childhood, indeed, along with his brothers. However, they all expressed the pain differently. Yes. And his brother in jail for pretty much molesting a young boy. So they all sick. The one that was in jail, I couldn't believe the stuff he was saying. He tried to sell, basically he tried to bribe his other brother, his younger brother, Kerry, by offering him one record deal and $100,000, and his older brother didn't understand why the other brother didn't take the deal. First off, you tried to say that your brother was the one in the sex tape, and that affected him and his family because his daughter, who was 15 years old, got jumped by other kids trying to defend her dad because she knew her dad wasn't like that. So it not only affect him, it affect his family and other people. which is so not fair, because why would you throw your family under the bus to protect yourself? Nobody at any point tried to get him help. He had a whole crew of people protecting him, and a whole crew of people that was pretty much madams going to get the kids for him. They're feeding kids to him. And then parents are pretty much selling off their kid for fame or money. Was he the one molesting them? I want to know who's done it. So pretty much he got molested by other family members, and male and female, and his siblings were being molested as well. The older brother, I don't know how his case started, but it was after he was already going to court for 21 counts of porno videos and stuff like that. But they all have their own individual issues when it comes to molestation, because nobody stepped up and got them help at all. And that's the part that bothers me. Where are the parents at? Like, all these girls that are being flown into his house, and they're all 14 and stuff, how the hell are they flying? Who's booking it? Like his wife said, he don't read and write, so somebody else got to be booking the flight for him. I'm pissed off that his whole crew protect him, yes. And none of them are stepping forward. They all need to be under the jail. They really need to be under the jail. And it's a shame that this had to come to light in this way, because a lot of the girls weren't even being believed. Even in the documentary, the guy said girls were coming forward, but I didn't believe them. This is why people don't come forward. They're not being believed, and it's wrong. It's wrong on every level. But I always say it's not the child, it's the parent. I always blame the parent, because they model who they want their child to be. If somebody throwing money at you for your kid, you are a bad parent. Period, point blank. There's no justification like, oh, he was going to make her a star. You have to sign a contract. That check come to you. That kid is a minor. So these kids are being sold off by their parents, because their parents are not allowing them to go live with him and stuff like that, being sold a dream. Still to this day, they don't believe the kid. They don't. But a lot of people were paid off. They said millions of dollars settlements. So many settlements. K. Michelle talked about it. That's why she can't tell her whole story, because she was probably one of those people that were paid off and offered a record deal. But she was one of those girls in the house at a young age. She talked about a part of her story, but because she signed a non-disclosure agreement, she cannot discuss the full story. So she had a documentary where she talked about her experience with R.Kelly, and she tried to warn people a long time ago. But they don't take her serious. But you see how screwed up her life is. These women suffer. It's not just a temporary thing. This goes on for a long time. So, like, people made excuses for his behavior. Even when I posted the question yesterday, what are your thoughts on the videos? And people would say, like, oh, he didn't rape them. It's statutory rape if they're underage. It might not be physical rape. They did do it voluntarily, but at the end of the day, it's illegal. And it don't matter what mindset he's in. He needs to be on a 72-hour hold in a mental hospital. Like, he needs to be, he has a problem. He has an addiction, and he record the videos because most molesters do want to be able to see what they've done and keep repeating that in their head or viewing the videos and stuff like that. That's just what they do. And even though these girls are young, he really don't see anything wrong with it. And that's because his mental state, he's not there mentally. He has made incredible records. He's a genius musically, but that don't overshadow like the stuff he did. And that's what happened. Like, people don't want to lose his music. They said they need him. They were supporting him and not supporting the victims. But he was playing the victim because he was molested. That was his story he would tell to the girls to get them to be like, oh, I was molested too. And that's how they feel vulnerable enough to be comfortable with talking to him about anything. But people knew about it, and that's the part that bothered me the most. The producers noticed stuff, but they didn't say anything. But his manager and personal assistant, he would get the girls. He would set up the flights. He would do everything. He had these girls in the house in different rooms just waiting for them, basically waiting till their turn. If they talked back or was disobeying, he had a no-eat list. One girl said she went 3 days without eating because she questioned him. I don't get it. they're so naive that they want fame and to be famous so much. And that's what I hate a lot about social media. These girls look up to these social media girls. They don't know what suffering that they had to go through to get to where they're at. And a lot of people feel like you got to sleep your way in a game, and you don't. You just got to work hard. You can be different. You don't have to feel obligated to sleep with someone just to get a record deal or get noticed or be put on. A lot of people like the easy way out. They don't work hard. And that's why I tell parents it's important for you to instill in your child morals, values, and to respect themselves. Not to follow the crowd. Because some of these girls were recruiting their friends. They were being madams, pretty much. They were being paid off for sexual acts. He even made a song saying, he don't see nothing wrong. Yeah. Bump and grind, all that. He was telling us the whole time, but people were seeing past the message, and they were just like, oh, this is like baby making music and stuff like that. He was telling us his story the whole time. Then he come out with the trapped in the closet. Like, that really put me like, where the hell did he get this stuff from? And that's when he started talking about like same-sex people, gay, lesbianism, stuff like that. Like, he is sick in the head, and he really need help, but it's beyond the point where I don't think he'll be able to be helped. There's no psychiatrist, there's no psychologist or prescription or anything that will help him right now. They would have to go through years of counseling to break down the layers of damage that he's done to himself and that his family have done to him. His manager was just as guilty. His whole crew, all the assistants, all that stuff, all of them are guilty. And I don't understand how they were able to do a documentary. They should be in jail too. And then how much evidence do you need to prove him that he's having sex with underage kids? They had the evidence there. And I can't believe, like, Sparkle gave up her career to save her niece, and her family turned against her for a record deal and money because her brother is still his guitar player and was on multiple albums after the whole case. Thank you. But it's very important to teach your kids to be aware of predators. Tell them the signs. This is why I have my icebreaker cards, my teen edition. This is why I have those important questions. You ask your teen these important questions because you want to know where the hell their mind is, what type of friends they have. I am nosy. My son cannot go to nobody's house without me meeting the parents. I need to see how they living. If their house dirty, I'm coming in. I'm nosy. I'm old-fashioned. My mom did the same thing to us. Thing is, has so many supporters. Yes, that's exactly what it was, JoJo. And like it was a cycle of abuse in his family, and because all him and his siblings were going through being molested and stuff like that, nobody thought to break the cycle. They didn't really talk about his mom in the documentary. I don't know what happened to his mom. I know his dad wasn't there. But even as a single parent, because I'm a single parent, you could still raise amazing kids. Look at our first black president. His mom was a single mom. It takes a village to raise a child. That's exactly why my group is called It Takes a Village to Raise a Child. A lot of people are geniuses. But it didn't start with him, because Elvis did the same thing, had a 14-year-old wife. Look at Hugh Hefner. They think it's okay. He have a freaking porn house and underage girls. So it's been going on for a very long time. And that's why I tell people, watch who you have around your kids. Watch, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to speak out. I tell my son, you better talk to me about anything. I don't care if it make me cry, it hurt me. If something's going on, someone touched you inappropriately. He's 9. He's about to be 10 this month. We have those conversations. Usually people wait till they're a teen. No, because their friends are doing it. You need to know about their friends. I check friends. I'm like, you don't need to play with that person. I don't like the vibes that person is giving me. And that ain't your true friend. Like, don't trust them. I did that with my bonus daughter. She was here a few days ago. I was giving her the talk about true friends. Your true friends ain't going to watch you sit and get bullied. Your true friends not going to let somebody inappropriately touch you or know that you're being inappropriate with an adult and not say nothing to your parents. I don't care if they'll be called a snitch or whatever. You better go tell my mom. Or you go tell your friend's mom if you see something going down that's very inappropriate. Let them know, because you could be saving somebody's life. This has been going on since before time. Yeah. And because they have money, they did it with Michael Jackson. How many years have they accused him of doing some stuff with some little kids? It's crazy. And nobody did anything about it. And people getting paid off once again, just so that the story can disappear or drag along so long that you don't even think about it anymore. But I always question, where are the parents? It always go back to, where's the parents? Because at the end of the day, if you're a minor, your parent is responsible for you. I don't care how much money someone's offering you. It don't amount to your mental damage that your child is going to go through for the rest of their life. There's no way I would put my child through that. A lot of people are against therapy, especially in the Black community. Get a therapist. Everybody, like, even therapists need therapists. Like, I'm a coach. Coaches have coaches. I have multiple coaches for different things. Don't be afraid to get help. That's why we're here. We're here to help you. If you need somebody to talk to your kid, that's why we have parent coaches. That's why we have coaching groups. There's so many people. If you've been through a tragic, that's why they have transitional or transformational coaches. They help you get and push through those hard times when you're stuck. If you're stuck in that age, that's what Ayala always say, like, that person is this age still, so you have to treat them from that age going forward, because they're not they're not having an experience as an adult. They're having an experience still as a kid or whatever age the trauma happened. Like Aaliyah, her parents was talking about being with her 24/7. Yeah, but they falsified documents. Well, the manager falsified documents saying she was 18 just so she can get married at 15. But her parents shut that down 2 months later. She had an annulment because they wasn't playing, because they need their permission for her to get married. But when your kids start sneaking behind your back, that's when you need to keep a close communication with your kids. Because at times, like, of course, when they get older, they don't want to talk to you, hang out with you much, but you still need to be in their business. I don't care what they say. Like, I know I talk about helicopter parenting, but it's needed, especially in this society. There's too much going on and too many crazy things happening for you not to be aware of where your kid's going, who they talking to, who they hanging out with. It's important to teach our child boundaries. Boundaries are very important, but also it's very important to teach them morals and values, to respect their self. Don't just have sex with somebody because they got money. Don't just go to their house because you want to be like, oh, I went to this person's house for social media credit. It's scary to think about. It definitely is. Another thing, like, a lot of women do it. I see it all the time. They bring in strange men, especially single moms. You mail hopping all these different baby daddies and all these different men you bringing in your household. You don't know what they're doing to your child. I know kids that were being bothered and they would tell their parent, and the parent don't believe them. They call their kid a hoe, a slut, kick the kid out, but choose the man over the kid. It happens every day, and I see it so often that it's ridiculous. Hey, T. Yes, mail hopping. Like me, I don't bring people around my son like that, because I feel like I want him to see me as a respectable woman, and I want him to look for women like me that have their shit together. That's not out there just being with all these different people, inviting all these different people in their household, playing daddy role. No, the daddy role, he got their kids calling him daddy, and not in a respectable way. Break the silence. Yes, you have to break the silence. You have to tell your kids, stop telling your kids to keep whatever's going on in the household. They need help. A lot of kids cry for help. They act out. They have behavioral issues. Some people come to me and be like, oh, my child is acting up. I don't know what to do. I always ask what's going on at home. That's the first thing I always ask, because usually it's something going on in the household. Do you have a man in the household? Is he bothering your child? Have you talked to your child about it? Because there's always a reason that a kid, when they suddenly start acting up and stuff, is usually something going on at home. And I always say, that's why I always say, it's not the child, it's the parent that we have to fix, because we have to change their mindset to be able, so they can model who they want their child to be. That's why I don't put my kids on social media. Yeah, and it's pretty safe to keep it that way because you don't know who out there on social media. Like me, I'm big with my son with YouTube. You watching these grown men play video games. They're luring these kids to their channels. I don't like that. I tell them, no, you don't watch YouTube. You don't watch no grown man playing video games, because he got all these kids watching them play video games, and they're chatting and stuff like that in a group. I don't trust that, because they can be like, oh, let's meet up here and stuff like that. No, I don't play that. I don't play those games. Right. And you should be very protective of your kids. You should always like keep that sacred. That's sacred. It always start at home. Yes, it do. And it's amazing how many people easily have people around their kids, or let somebody they don't know watch their kid. Like me, I'm not going to just throw my kid for somebody to babysit them because I want to go out in the streets or go on a date. No, I'm not going to do that. That is so, like, a lot of people do it though. I see it all day long. I see it on social media, like, oh, somebody could watch my kid. Like, no. You're auctioning your kid off, and that's asking for something to happen. And step forward. If you've been molested or anything and you haven't dealt with that drama, reach out to a coach. You can reach out to me, inbox me. I definitely have a lot of coaches in my village that I can suggest you to if I can't help you personally. I wouldn't leave you hanging. I would definitely refer you to a coach. It's so common in the Black community where people won't talk about abuse, and they refuse to go get help. They refuse to reach out. They refuse to talk about it. My own dad do that. Like, I tried to talk to him about certain things. He's an alcoholic. He would swear up and down like he's not. It's like, I deal with that on a daily basis. And I'd be like, Dad, do you remember anything from my childhood? This is why I don't drink. And it triggers down to your kids. It affects them. Some parents don't understand, because some of them don't know how to fix the problem. Because their generation, they were taught to just keep it to yourself, and it just continued to repeat the cycle. That's why I try so hard to break the cycle with families, and that's why I deal with families and parents. A lot of people don't know how to co-parent because they never seen it happen before, and they think like, oh, there's no way anybody can co-parent if they're not together or in the same household. I've proven that wrong many times with clients. It's possible. You just have to have the right mindset. A lot of people have that poverty mindset. They, whatever to get rich quick, they'll do. They'll get whatever offer money, they'll take it. I don't let nobody watch my kids that I barely know. It's either my family or close friends. Yeah. And my rule used to be, because I was a young mom, at 22 I had my son. If he can't go, I can't go. That was my rule. People are like, you always got your son. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't trust people with my kid. I'm still protective of my kid, and they're grown. They would never be like, they would always be your babies. I think that's like something with parents. Like, you would never let your kids go, no matter what. Even if they're dating people, looking to get married and stuff, you'd be like, no, I don't have a good vibe about that person. Like, you tell them. You tell them, like, that ain't gonna work. Like, you protect your family and friends. But I always tell people, a closed mouth don't get fed. So nothing changes if nothing changed. So if you keep doing the same thing over and over and you wonder why you're getting the same results, it's because you're not trying to change. You have to start with your mindset change, and you have to reach out for help. But you have to be the right help. I always tell people, like, with dealing with parents, you can't ask your grandparents or your mom or your aunts, because they're part of the problem as well. They are the generational curse. This is why you're stuck, because nobody figured out how to change or break the cycle. So you have to go for the right help. Don't ask close family and friends, because they're part of that broken cycle. You want something different. They're only going to tell you what they know, and what they know is why you got in that situation in the first place, because that's what they modeled. My kids can't go until They're old enough to communicate. Yes. Like, I didn't even send my son to daycare until he was able to talk and tell me how his day was. He was like a year and a half, almost 2. I was off work for 2.5 years before I went back to work because I didn't trust nobody watching my son. And his dad was deployed most of his life in the early child years. And I didn't have nobody else to really watch. My mom worked. She wasn't that grandma where she was going to watch her kids. She got to go to work too. It was 17 when you had your first one. Yeah, it's so crazy. And you got to take your kids to the doctor. If your kid walking funny, or you know your kid, like, these girls are starting their period at a young age, get them on birth control. Have that conversation. I know kids that started periods at 9. I had a cheerleader that was pregnant and 10 years old in 5th grade. Don't be naive to the thought that your child is not out there doing stuff when they're already on their period. They have their hormones. They're around other teenagers that's influencing them. If you don't have the talk, their friends would definitely tell them about it. So don't be afraid to have that sex talk with your kids. I used to scare my cheerleaders. When I had 11-year-old cheerleaders asking me, Coach Mo, what color do sperm supposed to be? I was like, I'm having a talk with your parents. Like, I'm happy you're comfortable with talking to me about that, but I'm definitely going to talk to your parents. It's just crazy. It blows my mind how like these kids are so much further advanced than we were. But then again, when I was in middle school, I had friends pregnant having abortions and stuff. We were 11, 12 years old. So I don't be naive to those topics with my kid. Me and my son had a sex talk at age 8. Me and his dad had to talk again with him at age 9, and we had to talk again at age 10. I even go to as far as, do you like boys? Do you like girls? How do they make you feel when you're around them? Do you get nervous? Do you get butterflies? Like, we go there. And he'd be like, ew. I'm like, I'm just checking. I want to know, do you like the same sex or not? Like, he's not really in that cootie stage, but you never know what these kids are doing. Because I'm no longer homeschooling him now, so he's on campus. I want to know what's going on. What are your friends doing? Do they have boyfriends and girlfriends? Like, I ask all those questions. I'm nosy. I go volunteer at the school just so I can check out the friends he come home and talk to me about. I'm very protective, but still open to understanding and talking about. Yeah, as long as you have, like, that open communication. Like, my mom, she was the cool mom. She used to let us have co-ed sleepovers and stuff like that in high school. As long as you keep the doors open, everybody can come over. But she knew I wasn't doing anything. We were upfront and honest about her. We talked to her about everything. So it was one of those, I trust you and you know what your boundaries are. I got 3 girls, so my girls go everywhere with me. You have to, especially girls. Like, you really got to watch out for girls because these grown men really be looking for these young girls. Hey, cousin. They really be looking for these young girls. They're exposed to too much. They are. The internet is like, we didn't have text messaging and all that stuff until, like, my late teens is when we started texting and having sidekicks and stuff like that, Blackberries, where it was easy and you weren't paying per text message. That's when you started getting the unlimited text and stuff like that. It's crazy how much they have access to nowadays and what they're doing with it. They think it's popular to go viral with a sex tape or showing all their body parts that's supposed to be, like, private on the social media. They want to be Instagram models, but they don't know those girls are insecure. They're broken. They're damaged. Them getting this attention sometimes have ruined their lives because they can't live out loud the way they want because people are always watching them. A lot of them I know and talk to have regretted having millions of followers and stuff like that. You get people commit suicide every year because the pressure to be perfect, to look perfect, can't go out just regular without makeup and stuff because they want to look how people see them and how they're perceived on social media. But it's not okay. And usually they don't have their parents in their life. They were out on their own as a teen. Nobody there, no guidance. Too much exposure with very little education. That is so true. And my mom didn't even let me spend the night at people's house. We didn't get to really spend the night at people's house because she'd be like, I don't know what they got. And if they have roaches or something, my mom was really big on that, but she'll let them come over our house because she gets to keep an eye on us the whole time. It's true, though. Me and my boyfriend was watching something on YouTube. My 11-year-old was watching about transgender. He was a boy. Yeah, I heard about that. It's a guy, he's documenting his whole transition, and the parents let them be transgender and do the surgery and go through the transition and stuff like that. That it's your medical they're using. First off, you have to sign off on everything. They're too young to make that permanent decision, but these are new different generation parents and kids. It's okay to live out loud, to be gay, stuff like that, but when it comes to being going through the transition, that's a different story. Like, you have to wait till you're an adult to make that decision. I wouldn't be the parent to sign off on that. That's not okay with me. Because I'm like, you're too young to go there, to make that decision. It's definitely up to the parents to be active with their kids, yeah. But this is exactly why I have my icebreaker cards. Some parents come to me and was like, I don't know how to have that conversation. That's why I created my icebreaker cards. I have 4 editions. One edition is 100 cards. It's for parents to ask their kids those questions, just different questions to be able to open up that line of communication. That's why they're icebreaker cards, is to open up and let it be comfortable in a comfortable environment. It could be game night. Me and my son spend a lot of time. We have movie night. We have Pizza Friday, stuff like that, so that I can have those intimate settings where I can have an open conversation and he's comfortable. Where it's not just a forced conversation. We're in a car and we just start asking questions. No, you could pull a card, or I'll tell them pick like 5 cards, and we'll do like 5 cards a week. There's a parent edition for the kids to get to know the parent, because not all the time kids know us outside of being mom and dad. They don't know what we did when we were a teenager. A lot of people hide that. If you was a hoe and you was sleeping around with everybody, that's why you a baby mama and don't know what your baby daddy is. Tell your kids. Talk to them about it. Don't hide it, because they know they don't know where their daddy is. That shows something about your character. Like, you don't got to hide who you are truly from your kids, because you're being this false representative. How could they trust you if you're not even being real to yourself? It's like, you have to let them be comfortable enough to be able to ask you questions, and don't just be like, oh, that's none of your business, don't ask me. Like, a lot of black people in the black community be like, that's none of your business. And they shut their kid out of who they are, how they were when they were growing up, who they hung around with, all the bad decisions they made. But they try to protect their kid from making those same decisions. But if they never knew what you went through and you never told them your story, how could you protect them? People don't think about that. You can't stop them from making the same decisions you made if they never knew what your mistakes were. It's good to be involved with your kid's life. I asked my 9-year-old all the questions. Is anybody bullying you? Bullying is a whole nother story, because my son dealt with bullying. I'm going to be doing an anti-bullying workshop I'm trying to do it towards the end of the month. If not, it will be next month. But I will be doing one here in Nevada, in Las Vegas, and one in California, because I do have a lot of people that reach out to me about how I've dealt with my son going through being bullied and stuff like that. But I do have people that have asked me to do a workshop, so I will do it, and it'll be for kids and parents to have them informed of what they can do, how they notice the signs that their kid is being bullied, because a lot of kids don't feel comfortable, probably in the IE or LA County. I'm not sure yet. I have family all over. I grew up in Compton, lived in the IE. Most of my family is in Riverside, Rialto area, and then some is in Orange County, and a lot of my friends are in LA County. So I just have to see what location I can do it at that have space for me to be able to host and have kids there and be able to talk to them. You're in Victorville. You're not that far from Rialto. You're only like 2.5 hours from me. But I'll let you guys know when I do the event. But I did want to come to you guys and talk about the whole R.Kelly thing, because it all starts at home. And it started with the whole molestation thing, and that's what triggered his personality now, because they never got him help. So it's always good to start and get help immediately. Don't wait it out, because you're damaging your child developmental growth. If you need help and you've dealt with this, or you have some generational curses you're trying to break and you need a parent coach, please reach out to me. I am looking for the end of January now, and also February. I did put the link for my icebreaker cards. You can get the child edition, the teen edition, the parent edition, or the co-parent edition. There's 4 different ones. The co-parent edition is $30, the child edition is $30, and the other 2 are $20. But definitely go to the website. You can reach out to me, message me if you want to have your breakthrough call. I do give a 45-minute free breakthrough call to see how I can help you and if you're a good fit to work with me. I don't work with everybody. I don't care how much money you're offering me. Everybody's not ready to go through the process and change. So I do a pre-interview just to see if you're ready and are able to work with me. But thank you guys. I'll talk to you later. My lunch is almost over. I'm at work. But thanks for joining in, and don't forget to share the video. And I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I'll be in Rialto next week. I'm speaking at a women's empowerment brunch in Orange County. So I'll be out there next week, around this time next week, actually on Saturday. But thank you guys. I love all the support. I love all the information you guys send me. If you have any topics or questions that you want me to talk about, any scenarios, just go ahead and inbox me and send it to me, and I'll do a live video on it. Y'all know I'll go live for y'all to help y'all. I need a child. It will help me. Let me know. I'll usually be in that area. I'll let you know. But thank you guys, and I will talk to you later. Have a nice night, and I'll be live again on Tuesday. I'm not sure which topic I'm going to talk about yet. But thank you guys for joining me, and hope you have a great day. Bye.